Goes to Chris Ockenwald.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, thank you, and I'm particularly pleased to have been able to offer a token of technical assistance to my colleague, Mike Sabin, who was in the police force.
Really?
I think that needs to be established.
Really?
We need that established. But not only that, but we have another colleague who was in the police force. And now, Mr. Speaker, I'm a little bit nervous because we also have the Minister of Police and Corrections with us.
That's right.
So I do hope that I get this completely right, because we're talking, Mr. Chairman, about Clause 3. Clause 3, as we've already heard, is the Principal Act, which and this Act amends the Summary Offences Act 1981. I've always understood, Mr. Speaker, that a summary offence is a crime in common law jurisdictions that can be proceeded against summarily. Summarily, you would say. He also says Wanganui as well. Without the right to a jury trial or indictment. It's governed by the statute of limitations of 6 months.
That's right.
Arrest is bailable as of right and no fingerprints are taken. Is that right?
That's correct.
That's correct. We've got that bit covered. When one has a look at the Summary Offences Act, and I'll just bring that up on my little screen, for a lay person such as myself, not overly familiar with the law beyond the level of required to be a Justice of the Peace, but it is interesting, if one has a moment, just to look at the summary of the Summary Act, because it covers offences against public order, offences against persons or property, spray cans, and I can remember when we brought that one through Parliament.
That's
in
right.
terms of it was necessary to introduce legislation to control spray cans. I'm old enough to remember, I'm sure there'll be other members on the other side of the House, I'm old enough to remember when graffiti was simply "Kilroy was here." And that was about it. You didn't see anything much else, and then spray cans came along. But the summary offences also includes offences resembling forgery or fraud, official information, offences against official information, intimidation, obstruction and hindering police, indecency, loitering and trespass, offences resembling nuisance, infringement offences, search, arrest and jurisdiction, and amendments and appeals. It is an interesting chapter in history, and all meat and potatoes to the the boys in blue, the thin blue line. And I remember I worked with a colleague who had been a policeman. This is the 3-veg. This is the 3-veg here. And some of these laws were, of course, quite convenient from the point of view of apprehending people. Possession of a knife is a particularly significant one, and that's the one that we have alluded to quite frequently in discussing the Principal Act. And, thank you. Perhaps I can just refer to Section 13A. Every person is liable to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 3 months or a fine not exceeding $2,000 who, in any public place, without reasonable excuse, has any knife in his or her possession. This is tricky if you're a Scottish gentleman wearing a kilt with a ski-and-do in your sock, but also I think it's tricky for some Sikhs. Where's Campbell when you need him?
That's right.
Because I believe they carry knives. The similarity of 13A.
Order.
Mr. Speaker. Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
A point of order, Chris Ockenwald.
Point of order. It's amazing that what we object to in others is what we least like about ourselves. That was an indictment of that member to speak like that.
Now the member... Here, look. The member can't... Order! I'm on my feet. Now the member can't use a point of order to attack another member. And the way in which the member raised that, he transgressed into that. But I'd say to the member who called out the interjection, it wasn't appropriate. It's not the sort of decorum we like to see in the House. Members can express their dissatisfaction by using higher grade language. Higher grade language. The member will I'm on my feet. The member will be trying somewhere else if they're not very careful. So we now have Mr. Ockenvold has about half a minute to go.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm so sorry to see my parliamentary colleague so deeply upset. I don't know where she's been. I don't know what's been caused. Offensive language is in the summary offences, and I don't know what it was, and I don't know who it was that has upset Marion Street. But I'm sorry to see her behave in the way she's doing, because this is a very important bill. It might appear not to be so to that member, but it is to us.
Moana Maki.
I move that the question be now put.
Question is that the question be now put. Those of that opinion will say aye. Contrary, no. Noes have it. Party vote. The clerk will conduct a party vote.
New Zealand National.
59 votes in favour.
New Zealand Labour.
34 votes in favour.
Let me cast the votes.
Green Party.
14 in favour.
New Zealand First.
7 in favour.
Maori Party.
3 votes in favour.
Mana.
1 in favour.
United
1
Future.
vote in favour.
Brendan Horan.
1 in favour.
We have 124 and 0 against. I will put the question. The question is that clause 3 stand part. Those of that opinion will say aye. Aye. Contrary, no. The ayes have it. The question now is that clause 4 stand part. Tim McIndoe.
Mr Chair, this is the first time I've spoken on this debate, and this is, of course, the weighty section of the bill.